I don't care who your father supposedly is. That's what the gate agent hissed, his voice slicing through the buzz of the terminal, and for a split second the whole boarding area went quiet. Then came the hammer. You two aren't getting on this flight. You could feel the silence turn heavy, like everyone around was waiting to see what these two black teenage girls would do. Zara and Nia looked at each other, twin reflections of disbelief and fury, and it was like a decision passed between them without a word. They'd been here before, but this time was going to be different. Zara reached for her phone, thumb hovering over one single contact. Nia gave a sharp nod. Do it. That agent thought he was just humiliating a couple of kids. What he didn't know was that he'd just handed the CEO of the entire airline a reason to shut down every single plane in the fleet. The day had started like a dream. 2 honor students at Denver International, tickets in hand for a first-class trip to Boston. College tours, independence, the thrill of traveling on their own for the first time. Their father, Marcus Jackson, had trusted them with this. What no one rushing through that airport knew was that Marcus wasn't just any dad. He was the brand new CEO of Mid-Atlantic Airlines. He'd kept it quiet, wanting to see the company's culture without the filter of power. So when he booked first-class seats for his daughters, it wasn't about luxury, it was about comfort and safety. Zara and Nia looked like any other teens. Hoodies, sneakers, braids neat, eyes bright with excitement. They didn't look like the daughters of a man who controlled an airline empire. Which, it turned out, was exactly the problem. From the moment they reached the check-in counter, the air shifted. The agent, Trevor, his tag said, looked right through them, called up the next white family like the girls weren't even standing there. When they spoke up, his smile evaporated. When they handed him their first-class tickets, he sneered like they were fake, asked for IDs, dragged them through humiliation before disappearing into the back office with their documents. 15 minutes later, he came back and slapped economy tickets on the counter. First class isn't for everyone, he whispered. The smirk said the rest. Nia's hands curled into fists, but Zara pulled her back. They'd been warned about this all their lives. Anger gets weaponized against you. So they walked away, stung but silent. And Trevor picked up the phone, reporting them like suspects instead of students. It only got worse. Random screening. The TSA agent announced with a grin that said it wasn't random at all. The pat-downs were rough, invasive, humiliating. Their laptops scratched, their medication scattered across the table, their braids tugged as if they were hiding contraband. A white woman tried to film, but the moment she did, security threatened her too. 45 minutes later, the twins walked away shaken, nearly missing their flight. Then came the restaurant. Empty tables everywhere, but the hostess swore it would be a 45-minute wait. When the girls pointed to the tables, the manager threatened to call security for making a scene. Only Elena, a Latino waitress, quietly slipped them food vouchers and her number. If you file a complaint, I'll back you up, she whispered, an ally in the shadows. That tiny kindness kept them going up by the time they reached the gate. They'd already had their tickets corrected once. Now, Richard, the agent at boarding, took one look at them and called security over the loudspeaker. In front of everyone, phones came out. People filmed as the twins were accused of fraud, of making false claims, of being disruptive. Diane, a black supervisor, pulled them aside. For a second, hope flickered, but then her voice dropped low and sharp. People like us have to be twice as polite, twice as patient, twice as perfect. Stop making a scene. The betrayal cut deeper than Richard's lies. Still, they pressed on. And that's when Gregory, the wall of a man at the jet bridge, stopped them cold. Suspicious activity, he said, smirking, and one by one he let every other passenger board until the plane was gone. Then security marched Zara and Nia away as if they were criminals. They sat down on a bench, defeated. And that's when Zara finally hit call. Their father picked up immediately. They told him everything. The agent who switched their tickets, the TSA humiliation, the restaurant, the supervisors who failed them, the final denial at the jet bridge. He listened in silence until the pen in his hand snapped. Then his voice came calm, cold, and sharper than steel. You got names? Yes, Dad. Good. Don't move. I'm implementing Protocol Alpha. Minutes later, The departure boards across Denver flickered. Every mid-Atlantic flight across the country grounded. Passengers confused, agents panicked, managers scrambling. The entire airline stopped dead in its tracks because two teenagers had been denied dignity. Sometimes, Marcus said into the phone, the only way to get attention is to hit the bottom line. The backlash came fast. Investors furious, board members whispering, media circling like vultures. Victor Harrington, the old guard billionaire, saw his chance to strike. He spun the story to the Wall Street Journal. Marcus Jackson, an unstable CEO grounding flights because of his spoiled daughters. He ordered files erased, evidence destroyed, reputation smeared. But what Harrington didn't count on was that the twins had been recording, documenting, collecting witnesses all day. And they weren't just smart, they were tech-savvy. Zara intercepted IT Director Calvin Hughes mid-cover-up. I've got backups of everything, she told him, calm and precise. You delete anything, I'll expose it. That's when the tide began to turn. Witnesses stepped forward. Elena shared her recordings. Passengers uploaded footage. Social media exploded. Hashtag Mid-Atlantic discrimination trended nationwide. In the boardroom, Harrington tried to strip Marcus of his power. This is emotional, reckless, costing shareholders millions, he thundered. But Marcus came armed with data. 5 years of buried complaints, hundreds of discrimination lawsuits hidden from financial reports, liability worth nearly $1 billion. That's fiduciary failure, Marcus told them coolly, turning the knife. When Harrington lost his temper and threatened the CEO's teenage daughters live on a recorded board call, the mask slipped for good. His empire crumbled in real time. Marcus stayed. Harrington went down. And Mid-Atlantic Airlines, dragged through fire, began to change. 6 months later, Zara and Nia walked back to Gate 32 in Denver, boarding passes in hand. The agent smiled, warm and casual, like it was nothing at all. No smirks, no suspicion, no humiliating detours. They boarded first class without a second glance. On that flight, Diane herself appeared, now part of the airline's accountability council. She paused at their seats. What you did changed us, she said quietly. You changed me. It wasn't just an apology. It was a confession, an acknowledgement that transformation doesn't start with the powerful. It starts with the people who refuse to be invisible, and maybe that's the part that sticks. Two teenagers, armed with nothing but persistence, a phone, and the truth, forced a multi-billion-dollar corporation to confront its own reflection. They sparked reforms that rippled across an industry. They reminded everyone watching that discrimination isn't just immoral, it's bad business. As Marcus told the board, any company that can't grasp basic human dignity doesn't deserve to survive. Today, Mid-Atlantic survives. Stronger, different, changed. Because of them. So let me ask you, when is silence no longer an option? Would you have walked away, tried to swallow it, kept quiet to avoid trouble? Or would you have done what Zara and Nia did? Stood your ground, even when the whole system was against you? Drop a 1 in the comments if you believe there comes a point where speaking out is the only way forward. Drop a 2 if you think the twins should have kept working within the system. And tell me, what would you have done at Gate 32?